We've started.
Yes.
We've already started, but I think you can see if there's anybody, if there's anybody online. And right now, there's nobody online. So.
No, I don't think it's.
But so we'll just use this opportunity, Maryse, to we wanted to make this announcement about this great honor to have been included in the shortlist of the Nature Research Awards for inspiring and innovating science in the outreach category, and then we wanted to talk to you a little bit about your work with OWSD and how your research is making an impact in your country, the Congo Republic.
Mm.
So if you don't mind, I'll start first by describing OWSD and this award, and then I'll hand over to you. Does that sound
Sure.
okay? Okay.
Yeah.
So the Organization for Women in Science for the Developing World, or otherwise known as OWSD or OWSD, is based in Trieste on the International Center for Theoretical Physics campus. And we've been here for 30 years now, working on programs to support women scientists from developing countries. We have 3 main programs which are funded, and each of these funded programs depends on our membership base, which is over 5,000 women scientists with at least master's degrees in science, living and working in the developing world. These women scientists are incredibly enthusiastic, and the point of their membership is giving them the opportunity to network with each other, understand each other's challenges, and give each other support and provide training opportunities. When there are more than 20 members in any one country, they can set up an OWSD national chapter. And we now have 36 national chapters throughout the developing world. And these national chapters offer really interesting, exciting programs, including workshops for high school girls to get them interested in science, particularly those disciplines that are underrepresented by women, such as maths, engineering, technology, physics. And also perhaps to help them write grant applications for some of our programs. We have a PhD fellowship program, which by now has over 300 graduates, again, women from least developed countries and scientifically lagging countries. They can go and study in any other country in the developing world. Once they have completed their PhDs, they can also apply for our Early Career Fellowship, which is the fellowship that Maryse won a couple of years ago through OWSD. And she can tell you a bit more about that program, but it's basically a very prestigious fellowship awarded by the International Development Research Center in Canada, $50,000 over 2 years for women returning to their home countries to set up centers of excellence. By definition, their countries, they had to leave their countries in order to get their research to an international level because their countries lack the resources such as laboratories, teams, contacts, equipment, and they also have a huge amount of teaching and very often childcare commitments. This grant is intended to release women in Maryse's position from those kinds of commitments and allow them to focus on building up their science at a high level. And our third program, which we introduced at lunchtime today through another fellow, is an awards program to recognize outstanding women scientists with a prize so that they are visible both in their own countries and internationally as role models, inspiring role models. That's a program with the Elsevier Foundation. But the reason that we're here today is to really celebrate a kind of first step in a competition, which is the Nature Research Awards for Inspiring and Innovating Science. And OWSD has been selected as a shortlist contestant in the outreach category. And the winners will be decided in October and announced at the Nature Office's online program. There are 6 other organizations that have been nominated in this category. And one of the intentions of the award is to encourage networking amongst us. So this morning when we heard the news, we were also given access to the research hub provided specifically for these shortlisted winners to talk to each other about our programs and to start making connections with each other. Just finding you some examples of the organizations that you can see here. So if you just scroll up to the top there, thank you, Science Outreach. There's an Argentinian organization called Chicas en Tecnología, who are looking at reducing the gender gap in technological entrepreneurial environment. There is the Girls Fly program in Africa, which is an educational program for primary, high school and post-school learners. And they have an aviation and space camp for young girls. There's the International Veterinary Vaccinology Network in Africa, which is creating a schools outreach program to encourage young veterinarians to take up the program. Then you can see our organization there. Then there is another organization promoting geoscience research, education and success. And this last one, Teen Turn, which is looking to increase the percentage of girls from disadvantaged and underrepresented communities pursuing 3rd level education in STEM courses. So it's going to be really interesting for us over the next month to engage with these different organizations online and see how we can perhaps collaborate. And for us, what our aim is to provide members of OWSD with as many useful contacts as possible so that they can, reach their best scientific research in whichever discipline they're in. And these organizations will certainly be really, really useful, I think. So Maryse, handing over to you now. This will be the first time that you've heard about this this award. Do you think that this award will make a difference to OWSD? And do you think that you might be able to also make use of it in some way?
I definitely think it's make a difference because it's more broader, and yeah, definitely this is make a very plus to the OWSD purposes. I really believe so.
Yeah. So just to introduce you, Maryse, for those who don't know you. So Maryse is from the Congo Republic and lives in Brazzaville. And Maryse has a long history with Trieste, actually. I don't know, would you like to tell us about your journey to Trieste and your ongoing journey from Trieste back to Congo?
Yeah, so we stay in English, right? Or in Italian?
Yes, we decided that we would do this in English.
Okay, so hello everybody. So as Tonya said, I'm Maryse Nkoua and I'm from Congo, Brazzaville. Actually, I'm a lecturer in physics at the university, the only lecturer in physics in Congo. And I'm also a lab manager of laboratory in charge of renewable energy and material science. So my story with Trieste, it's a 10-year story. It's a long story, but it started when in 2010 when I met one professor called Scandolo in South Africa during a school. And it was talking about the ISTP. It's a center located for theoretical physics located in Trieste. So I applied to that program. It's a one-year program for a diploma. It's like a pre-PhD in condensed matter, so pure physics. I got accepted. So this was my first time to be in Europe in 2010 and 2011. And then I really wanted to do my PhD, but of course, so through the process, I applied to a grant called the European Counseling, National Counseling, I think, no, European Research Counseling, yeah. For a PhD of 3 years in the Department of Physics, always at the University of Trieste. But I was doing my PhD in the cyclotron radiation, always located at Trieste in the Nano Innovation Laboratory. So I did my PhD for 3 years over there. And then I did also 1 year of postdoc. After that, I decided to go back in Congo. After also maternity break, I decided to go back in Congo. And then in Congo, of course, as I told you, I did experimental physics. So in Congo, people do mostly theoretical physics. So it was really challenging for me. And this is where I met the OWSD, because at the same time, the OWSD has created this fellowship on the Early Career Fellowship, fellowship grant, let's say. So it was just for me, okay, I need this in order to buy equipment, because if I'm an experimentalist, if I don't have any resources, I'm done, let's say. So I applied to the OWSD for the grant, for the application, and they thought that it was okay, it was good. Then I got the grant, it was $50,000. The Early Career Fellowship, it's not just money. I always say that it's just not money, because as a woman, it's sometimes challenging to be recognized nationally, but also internationally. So it has given me like a notoriety just from Congo, but also elsewhere. So it was really life-changing from my side, but I will not go abroad because I know we have a lot of questions. So I got the grant in 2018. It's a 2 years grant fellowship, and then you buy equipment, you have a mentorship, you have training, but most importantly, you have a network, because you create like a family with other fellows. So when you have a problem, you could write to others. It's just like a family. And for that, for me, it was my first time to buy equipment for my lab. And it was eye-opening to our government, because they decided to invest on my project. From the first equipment we bought with the OWSD, our ministry decided he wanted to help us, because he said, okay, we are doing such thing. How could people, they don't know me, why they give me money? So it was really life-changing for me for the Early Career Fellowship, yeah.
Thank you, Maryse, that's fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about what the difficulties are that you face in Congo as a scientist? What are your main challenges, and what would you ask European scientists? How can European scientists support you?
So the obstacle, we have different obstacles. You have gender obstacle, you have culture obstacle, you have generation obstacle, because well, I think I'm still young. So you have this problem of generation problem. And I'm a French-speaking country, so this is another very big obstacle, because most of, there is a bias sometimes when you submit your application. When you submit your application to a grant, there is a bias of how you write the proposal, because your English is not that good, so people just go over it. But they don't want to go deep into the matter. So they say, oh my God, it's horrible English, so no. But sometimes the matter is so deep compared to someone who's writing perfect English. So we have this problem. So I will ask for people from abroad, so those founders to think about French-speaking countries. Sometimes the English is not that good, but the deepness of the science, sometimes it's very important. That is the most important thing. And yeah, that's the main problem I will tackle, let's say.
And in terms of, I don't know, so perhaps the difficulties of day-to-day practical living, do they impinge on how you can do your research?
Yeah, you see, the day-to-day, you mentioned something really important. You know, the early career has taken into account of childcare, for example. And this is mostly, I don't know yet about all the grants, but it's really hard for people to take into account. Like I'm a mom, and this has really helped me, for example, for childcare. If this should be taken into account in different grant or fellowship normally, this is like the minimum should take. On the day-to-day, sometimes there is a reality of we face, like in Africa, it's not the same reality in someone like in Moscow or in Trieste or in elsewhere. The reality, we say, for example, the taking care of the slowness of the administration, for example. So we faced, I have sometimes those problems with my team of the OWSD because we are always slow. Why you are not getting by your ticket, your receipt? So we have this reality, even when you want to give justification of what you are doing, we have other reality over there. The administration is slow. Sometimes you have a grant, but they don't care about, they don't take into account of the administration of the public where you are working. Yeah. So those people get slow to work for your problem because they say, we are not paying. Okay, you have money, you will pay your equipment. Then, even though it's their work, from someone from Europe, you say, what are you saying? This is no, for us, it's another challenge. Yeah. So this is kind of a problem we face, yeah.
And do you feel that your research project is making a difference to life back in Brazzaville?
Yeah, I definitely say, you know, the project I worked with the OWSD was not directly linked to what I did for the PhD. It was something I decided when I came back, what is the reality, what people really want right now? For me, it was electricity. This is like, for other people, we say, oh, what? But for us, it's very important. Our project has helped how to say that in English, to provide electricity now to 10 homes already. So when those people were living without electricity, people would say, but why they need it? They need it because they have children, they need to work, to read at home by night, so they need electricity. So those impact, it has not only impact my my research lab. It's not at the level of the research lab. It's at the level of our government, because they know what we are doing, and they really want to invest on what our project. So this.
Can you describe your project, Maryse?
What?
Can you describe your project?
Yeah, my project, that's why I was supposed to say. So it's to develop hybrid system from different renewable energy to bring affordable and clean electricity distribution to Congolese community. So we are using two sources of energy, solar panel and biomass, to provide clean and affordable electricity to Congolese community. So it's for the 10 house we started, it was free. But now we have brought another project from a national point of view. For them, it could not be just free. So it should be like from a national point of view, and people could pay, but it will be less compared to what people are paying right now with the fossil fuel energy.
So I think I remember you telling me that because of your project, a clinic now has electricity and can make certain kinds of operations that it couldn't before. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yes, because in Brazzaville, you have like very far area. People, of course, they don't have electricity. We have an island which is close to the capital. They needed to cross every day to come to another place for vaccine or for something like that. But they didn't have electricity. They have a clinic, but no electricity. So they needed always to cross the river Congo. I don't know if you people know about it, the river Congo, to go to buy vaccine. Everything need to be refrigerated.
How long does it take to cross the river?
It will take you 45 minutes by traditional boat. But if you take more advanced, it will take you 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now with the help also of the OWSD, the Early Career Fellowship, and the government, we were able to install our system to those clinics. So now they don't need to go abroad because it was just, it's a simple system. And it's a long life, at least 20 years, they will have it for sure.
Fantastic. And what's your hopes for the future, Maryse?
Yeah, my hope is to have this, something the OWSD wrote is like to have an international standard of research. This is the goal of this fellowship. So I don't want any more the collaboration is really important, but I would like also students from abroad to come do their research in Congo, for example. And I really believe it's possible. No one could have known that we were able to buy a higher microscope. Now we bought it under this fellowship. But it's the only microscope in the Central Africa. So this was not possible before. People will say, why are you needing this kind of equipment? Because it's important to characterize the biomass in order to produce better electricity. So we don't need to go abroad to do the fundamental science because we need it. It's really important. We have the equipment, we do everything back home, and the collaboration could be south to south, not only always to another direction.
This microscope is not just a normal microscope, isn't it?
No.
I think people listening might think, well, come on, one microscope in Central.
No.
Describe this microscope.
So this microscope will give you the information on the nanoscale. When I'm talking about nanoscale, it's very small, 10 to the power minus 9. Why is it important to go to this direction? Because everything happening, for example, to your cell phone, to your body, is at this direction, at this dimension. So you need to invest on this direction to know what is going on in order to build up everything. So usually us, for example, in Africa, we build already, then something doesn't work, we don't know. You need to start from, it's important to go from up and down, but it's also important to come from bottom to understand the matter at the nanoscale, where everything is happening. Then you could understand to build everything up. So that microscope was for sure expensive, but it's really important because we have collaboration. So someone from Gabon, someone from Cameroon, someone from DRC could come to Congo to do the experiment now. You will not obliged to go to San Francisco or to Trieste to do this experiment. So we just ship the sample to Congo, just 5 minute fly or 20-minute boat, and that's it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well done. Well, it's been fun. It's been great talking to you, Maryse. I'll just see if we have any questions here, just to follow up on anything that you've said. Anybody would like to ask Maryse a question? We think you've covered everything very well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maryse, and we look forward to continuing to be in touch with you and having you as a mentor on our wonderful...
Congratulations to OWSD also, because this is for sure, it's not a surprise that you have been shortlisted because, I'm already cutting, but the OWSD has funded the PhD of my sister now, so it's like a family affair. So you deserve it, and I know that in October we will be really, we know you will got it for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it's thanks to your wonderful activities and research and outreach that people take us seriously. So thank you so much, Maryse.
Okay, take care.
Great talking to you. We'll catch up later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think we should just have a regular program. I think I just will do this regularly on Skype and just